We're going to break it down from a DFS perspective. It's a really interesting tournament. We have a couple of studs, but not what we've been having. So we don't have an elevated event. We don't have all that, which means we're going to have to dig down and play some guys at prices we're not used to, and or we're going to leave money on the table. I think both are very viable options just at first look this week, but. We'll go down tier by tier. Sheets, any overall thoughts before we jump into the tier by tier? We pull your screen up.
I'll pull my screen up, and no, I mean I don't really have all the ownerships down yet because it's a little early. But just to give you guys a little, I do have some ownership projections, but they're kind of a little smooth. But what I was going to say is that tomorrow night on Wednesday we'll do we'll do like a live sweat at the end of the NBA NHL slate, and then we'll also take the opportunity to do like kind of a live build when we'll have all of our ownership projections, all of our builds kind of finalized, and that's always kind of fun.
Yep, absolutely. And you know what? For what it's worth, we got a lot of things pretty right last week. From our picks, I think you had Hovland as your favorite. I'm sorry, you had Hatton as your favorite guy in the whatever tier. I had Scheffler to win the tournament. We had a lot of other good ones. I had Hovland was my guy in that tier. Like we had some really good stuff. If we could have put it together.
Fleetwood put up an insane round on Saturday.
Fleetwood, by the way, I think was the 5th highest scoring golfer last week, even though he ended up as the 30th, tied for 30th, which is pretty wild because he had the birdie streak. I think he had the second most birdies of anybody on the thing. I think he made the same amount of birdies as Scheffler, which is kind of crazy to think about. And he also had the Eagles. And the multiple streaks and whatnot. So that's one of the reasons I like playing them. We'll get into we'll do the over 10K guys first. Of course, these guys are all going to be played pretty heavily just because you're going to have to spend money somewhere. JT hasn't looked quite right. He keeps going. He'll have like a good round and then he'll just look kind of just not quite right. And even with all that, he's still not hasn't been horrible. JT, I think I can make a good case for all these guys. I'm a little annoyed to see Sam Burns with ownership after a decent week when I was playing him at 7,800 at 2% last week. And now he's 10-2 and he's going to be popular. So if I had to pick, I have him ranked Thomas, Spieth, Fitzpatrick, Burns. But I think Fitzpatrick is every bit as good of a play as the top guys. So that might be what I end up doing.
It's funny. We talked about this kind of at length last week, where it's so funny how golf works is that it's such a data-driven sport with respect to analysis. And then when it comes down to it, it becomes like so narrative-driven when we actually do the breakdowns. Because, that's the stuff to talk about. So given the fact that, I always like to talk about teams having letdowns in sports and all this stuff. I mean, it would seem as though this would be the type of tournament coming off of the players that guys like JT and Spieth would be less interested in. Not that they're not interested in it, you know what I mean? But coming off of the players with like $1 billion on the line playing against everybody great, and now half the field gone and having to deal and playing this one, you'd like to think that there are other players that would be more motivated to put out their best effort. But then again, this is golf and it's data, so I'm probably just talking out of my you-know-what. JT, as far as the projections and all that go, is the best play by a decent amount, I guess. And as it usually is in slates like this, the 7K guys, you could play. There's a bunch of them that look pretty good because the difference between like the 9K guy and the 7K guys, as far as I'm concerned, is so small because you don't have all those like Hovlands and Zalatoris and Finaus, and you know what I mean, like all those and Xanders, all those great looking 9Ks to kind of make that separation. So the fact that you'll be able to play 7Ks will make these 10K guys pretty accessible. And I do think there's a legitimate difference between JT and the guys below him. You know what I mean? I don't mean like necessarily the 10K guys, but I think there's a decent enough difference between JT and like the 9K and 8Ks where you probably want to play him. So I like him the best, but like you said, all four of these guys look very, very playable here. I have them ranked JT, then basically a tie between the other three. Actually, no, I do have Fitzpatrick and Spieth ahead of Burns, but I probably think you are going to play one of these 10K guys.
Yeah, it seems like it because of the difference. And Fitzpatrick, you can make an argument that Fitzpatrick is every bit as good a play here as JT.
I mean, I'll give you an example. Like remember from last week, you could play like six $8,900 guys who are just complete colossal studs. Right. Like if you toss the 10K guys, it's pretty awful to play six of them. You know what I mean? Like to play ooh, I'm so psyched to play Danny McCarthy at 9,300. You know what I mean? It's not exactly the same.
Yep. Yeah, I hear you. I am, and So speaking of that, going into the 9K range, I do really like the three most expensive 9K guys. So I'm okay with some of that. I really like Fleetwood. I really like Rose, and I really like Keegan Bradley. Again, Fleetwood, because people are not used to paying it, are not going to want. He's currently looking like the low-owned one. I think he could absolutely win this tournament. I think he could have won the last tournament, by the way. Just a few things. Just it's one of those things that you get on a bad streak at that course. It's rough, but I really like Fleetwood here. I really like Rose, and I really like Bradley. I'm good with everybody else. The only other one who stands out for me is Adam Hadwin. I know Brian Harmon's played well here before, I guess, and I'm interested in Davis Riley in general. Although 9K seems a little bit excessive. But it's that kind of slate. So I mostly have the three top, the 94, the Bradley, Rose, Fleetwood, and some Hadwin.
I once again, not surprisingly, am back to Keegan Bradley as the top of this group of golfers, I should say. Because I didn't want to say, oh, Bradley's my favorite 9K guy because he's never 9K, right? So, but he's my favorite of this group.
Right.
My second favorite of this group is actually Hadwin, and I personally have Fleetwood a little lower than all of them. I don't know if I'm going to get to him in like big buy-ins this week, and I have McCarthy significantly below all of that. So I do have Bradley as my favorite, and I do have this kind of idea that I want to play Hadwin. I don't really need to play Brian Harmon, and I'll probably be under on Rose, and I myself will be under on Fleetwood. So I'll be rooting for you.
Yeah, fair enough. And so why don't we jump into the 8K range? Why don't you start that one off? Because
the 8K range is where the is the black hole, right? For me, because the 7K guys are pretty good relative to the 8Ks. I have three guys that I would highlight. How many are actually? There aren't that many, right? Actually, they're a decent amount. So the top three 8K guys I have are not the usual guys. Wyndham Clark at 8,800. Then my next one is KH Lee all the way down at 8K, and then a guy who every once in a while will do it for me. Most of the time he breaks my soul is Gary Woodland. So I like him. So for me, those are my top three. It would be Clark, KH Lee, and Gary Woodland.
Yeah, Clark, KH Lee, you said, and who was the last one you said?
Gary Woodland.
Gary Woodland. Yeah, I'm sort of fine with all of those guys. I'll keep going with the Justin Suh thing. I think he's good and he's playing well and was really good last week. Obviously was in contention there for a while. It feels like everybody was in contention last week for a little bit. My favorite play in this range is Ben Griffin. I think Ben Griffin is a really good golfer on the way up, and I want to catch on to this. I like Griffin and Taylor Moore as my low-owned guys, and I'm good with all the guys you said, but Griffin and Taylor Moore along potentially, I don't know what's happening with Aaron Rye. Like he's got like a half a projection. I don't really understand what's going on.
No, it's so interesting that you say that. I have him as a half a projection as well. Like a couple of people aren't projecting him at all. I don't know if he's not going to play or something. That's usually what happens when you get half a projection. Some people end up with zeros or whatever it is. But
yeah.
So we'll that'll straighten itself out.
Yeah, and the one other guy I mentioned is that I was looking into a little bit is Taylor Moore. That's where I'm at. All right, 7,500 to 8K. I'll tell you who I do really like this week. I like Joel Dahman a lot, and I like Johnny Vegas a lot. I don't care that he screwed me last week. I'm going to go right back to him. It's really frustrating when you have the 1, 2, 3 in your lineup and you got Johnny Vegas there who just with nothing. So in the 555, so that one kind of hurt. But I'm on board with he's withdrawn. So I guess Rye is officially out, which I didn't have.
Okay.
Thank you for that, Joanne. Always good to see Joanne in here. But I like the Vegas and I like the Dahmen. I like Will Gordon. He had a great second round last week. That's pretty much the guys who I'm using here. I don't love the rest of the 75 to 8K range. I do like Steven Yeager a little bit. I guess he'd be the last one I'd mention.
Yep. So for me, 7,500 and up, I'll just eliminate. Didn't like Gordon, Baccia, Shelton, Higo, Lashley, Taylor, Allberg, or Ann, or even Post or Ann. The guys I liked are the three guys you pretty much mentioned. So I like Vegas a lot. I do like Dahmen, and my third favorite in that range is the other guy you mentioned. That'd be Yeager. So Yeager, Dahmen, and Vegas are my top from those range. And more to the point, I think they all look really good. You know what I mean? I have Vegas as one of my top rated guys, and given that these ownership rates to be somewhat low, he could unfortunately be kind of the key for me this week, but we'll see. But those three guys, Ramen, that's pretty funny. Jaeger, Dahmen, and Vegas are my three top from that range.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, 7K to 7,400. So there's a number of guys who I'm looking at here. I still am interested in this Pearson Coody.
There it is.
I mean, this kid's good. He's got a bright future. I'd like to get ahead on guys like this in general. So Coody is a little bit interesting to me. I think Webb Simpson is 7,300, and I'm not going to just ignore that with this field. I know that he hasn't been like the best or anything like that. But 7,300 feels very, very fair. Sam Ryder is like, I would have thought he was interesting at this price, but then I like Tyler Duncan and Eric Cole just as much as I like him, and they're going to be lower owned, or at least Eric Cole will be. Luke List is probably the one I'll be the most overweight on this range, along with Joseph Bramlett. But weird that I'm not finding more down here to like, I guess.
I might play Joseph Bramlett to win, but just because he hits it freaking a mile. I don't like him that much. Yeah, right. I'm not. Yeah, but as far as the big hitters go, I do like Luke List. Like you mentioned him as probably my favorite of that range. So I like Luke List. I like Tyler Duncan, and Alex Smalley would be the three 7,500 guys and under. Now again, listen, for those of you that have only watched this for the first time, again, what we don't do is go through all of the inner workings of the stats and all this stuff. You know, we all just kind of do that ahead of time, and that all gets factored into projections. I'm just literally just looking at my sheet, seeing who looks low owned of the guys that I like, and just kind of giving my favorites. You know, you can go elsewhere for all the data and all the reasons why we like the guys. This is really the most purest, like just who we like type of thing. But again, like if you want to see us how we put all this stuff together, I encourage you to come, late at night on Wednesday where we're actually doing lineup builds.
I agree with that. Yeah. All right. So under 6K sheets, what do you got for me? Under 7K. Under 6K, I got nothing, but under 7K.
Under 7K, I have the same amount that I have under 6K, I think, which is not much. I got two for you. Whatever. I'll throw three out there. Well, okay. So Troy Merritt would be my favorite, and then my unfavorites are Dylan Wu, Bad Attitude Streelman, and Michael Kim. Those are like the other guys that I would put on the list. But Troy Merritt just he literally just rates the highest by like 0.01% like of the 7K guys and under 7K guys I have.
It's pretty funny because you said that about Streelman, but all I saw of him all week last week was him joking around and messing around with guys on the course with him. It was weird. I was like, oh, he must be in a better mood, I guess.
Well, that's the thing about these moody guys. The thing, they're front runners. Things are going well. They're joking around, doing whatever. And as Kenny pointed out, he's like, so you're not going to play Kevin Streelman ever based on a sample size of watching him have one swing live at a tournament. Like, yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
All right. So I like a couple of the guys who I like Streelman a lot this week.
Yeah.
I think he was right at the top last year too. I agree with the Troy Merritt as being one of the more viable guys down here. I'll go back to the general and this type of thing. He made the cut last week. Nothing special. It wasn't the awesome performance he had the year before, where he literally went from like the top of the leaderboard to like to basically like even, and then he immediately goes and makes 5 birdies in a row to start the next day. It was just a really weird, wild one last year. But I love Kazire. Carson Young is I want to catch this kid on the way up, and I think he's good. I mean, look, he's been playing in some of the other events. I think he finished 3rd last week, and I don't remember where the event was, but it was the secondary event or whatever. But I like Carson Young, and those are the main guys. I think Cam Champ, like, I don't know how we don't at least consider him. Like, there's a way, if he had been playing lately, where he would have been like one of the 9K guys this week, and he's 6,700. Those are the main ones for me. I think Austin Smotherman is another one that I would definitely consider at 6,500. I kind of like, my thing. I'm always trying to find extra guys down here. Doug Yim.
Yep.
Another one I'm considering. Ryan Armour. No, not Armour. Doug Yim.
I will say something.
Carl Young.
I will say this: the way the lineup build is looking. If you could find like a good 6K, like it's gonna it's like I don't want to play something like Thomas and Fitzpatrick. You know what I mean? Like it's just hard to do.
Yeah, I think that's actually like a good point. Like if you can find a couple of these 6K guys. Like, I mean, why can't Cameron Champ is like, this last time I remember talking about Cameron Champ was like the Masters and the tournaments right after, where he was right there. He won a tournament right before. Like, I know it's been a little while, but like he's 6,700. That seems a little ridiculous compared to the nature of the field. I also do think that getting guys like Carson Young on the way up, Dylan Wu, even though you didn't like him, Patton Kazire, Charlie Hoffman, all of these guys are completely viable. Kevin, who else did I have down here? Streelman. I actually think Streelman's a good play. So I do think there's ways to build the double spend up lineups if you want to, especially because what are we really getting different in the 8K range from like the 7 and 6K? I don't think these 8K guys are like awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. Good morning to my man Forrest in chat here. Joanne's fading the top ones this week. That's completely like, I can understand it. The problem is more than ever, we have, there's a huge, well, not more than ever, as much as ever, there's just a huge gap between the top level and everybody else. But it's not like the top level like is in great form either with JT and Fitzpatrick, and Spieth played well last week, but he's all over the map. We know that. And Sam Burns is just getting back to it. So I certainly can see the argument either way. I tend to have a similar thing with Sheets because I kind of want to play one of JT or Fitz with Fleetwood. But I also really like Justin Rose and Keegan Bradley. So just gonna, I could maybe play a lineup with Rose, Keegan, and McCarthy, and then use the cheap guys, or I could do a JT and Fitz with the cheap guys, and both of those seem very, very viable to me at first look. So let's play the game sheets. We're gonna go through it and see who you like and who you don't. Who's your pick to win the tournament?
I mean, okay, I'm going to go on a limb here. I'm going to say Justin Thomas.
Okay, I figured you would do that. I know I'm supposed to say Fitzpatrick, but I'm going to say Fleetwood.
Okay. Under 10K to make the top 5.
I'll let you have your guy just so I can take the other guy, because you're not going to take my guy. I'm not going to take Keegan. I'll take Justin Rose. I'll let you have Keegan.
I'm going to take nobody. Who can make the top 5 here? These are terrible. Let me see.
Well, they have to. There's only 4 guys in the game.
I know.
What? These guys are terrible. What about Fleetwood?
No. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking of doing that.
There you go. Double up.
No, I'm going to go. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go Adam Hadwin on this one.
All right, you're just doing it to be cute, Cheats, because we know you want Keegan Bradley in there.
I just can't. I could play Keegan Bradley to make a 16th. You know what I mean? Like I just.
Okay. Well, somebody's gonna have to come in top 5. You could take
I guess. Yeah, it's gonna be the top 4 and somebody from 6K.
Davis Riley finished second here last year.
Yeah.
I think
all right, so under 9K to make top 10.
Thought I had somebody down here. Under 9K to make top 10. This is my least favorite range. Is 8. Oh, I know it is. It's Ben Griffin.
I like that, and I will go. He's gonna get 40th, but I gotta pick someone. I'm gonna go like Gary Woodland.
Gary Woodland, yeah, that's good with me though.
How is anybody coming top 10 here? Like, you need like 34 golfers to get a top 10.
Didn't Justin Suh? What about him?
Like that.
Okay, so
under 8K top 20. This I can do.
This one, okay, you go then.
Yeah, I should have probably taken one of these to make top 10. I can pick any of these, but I'll to reinforce how much I like to play. I'm going to go with Vegas.
Who?
Vegas.
That's who. Actually, that's funny. I'm glad you took him because I was going to take him, but instead I'm going to take Joel Dahman.
Like that hat.
All right, so under 7K
to make the cut. We can do this.
Oh, we're going to make the cut. I'll take Streelman. He's making the cut all day.
The reality is that is the correct answer. I will. It's either going to be that dude or that dude. So it's gonna. Now that's not the same. Wait a minute. Oh, I thought somehow Cameron Young was 6,800. No, the other guy. I'll go with the guy I mentioned. I'll go with Troy Merritt.
I like the Merritt one. I think that I actually do think I'm going to play these 6K guys this week, just because I don't think there's a difference between them and the 8K guys. Except for they're going to be unowned because they're down there and people don't know what to do. But Gim, Smotherman, Champ, Streelman, Merritt, Carson Young, Kazire, I don't see them as being so different than these other guys. Dylan Wu.
Over 9K to make the cut. This. I mean, they can all to miss the cut.
Over 9K to miss the cut. Ugh. We should probably take Keegan again. No, I'm just kidding. I am going to, I guess, say Denny McCarthy, even though I don't feel great about that. I feel like most of these guys are making the cut.
Yeah, I'll go Justin Rose.
Wow. Justin Rose playing good golf again, and you're just hating on him, huh?
No, who else am I going to pick?
I know, I'm just kidding with you.
It was either going to be him or Spieth. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I was thinking of, my other one. Yeah, I mean, Spieth's results are winning by 5 strokes, or
Spieth could be plus 7 after the first round. You know what I mean? Like,
and then he can still probably make the cut. No. Anyway, guys. Well, yeah, it should be fun. So join us for our live sweat for NBA tomorrow night, and join us. We'll also go over our golf lineups, our finishing touches on our golf lineup. So it should be
okay. I'm going to I'm going to challenge everybody that's listening to this for something. Okay, so. When we do our live sweat at 11 tomorrow, I want someone that's either here now or watches this between now and then. When we do our live sweat, we start talking about the PGA, I want someone to be ready with those top 10 things that we did at the end so that I don't have to remember them. So somebody besides me and Bobby.
I've got it written down.
You'll lose it. Okay.
No, I won't lose it. I keep the same sheet.
Fine. If somebody can remember to put it in, they'll get a prize when I have a prize to give out. So.
Okay. By the way, and he'll hold that up too. By the way,
yeah, I'll hold up. Well, yeah, that's right. That's going to be one that never gets. That's going to be a debt that never gets paid. I promise. but I will do my best.
All right, sounds good. Well, good luck, everybody. Hopefully, we can have similar results for the guys we did in this little game, because we did well with the game last week.
I have one other observation, by the way. There was no place for me to put this properly within the content, So I'm just going to put a random thing in here. Everybody, you guys can all leave. This is totally irrelevant to all of you. But I had, in keeping with the discussion earlier about how some things are so narrative based or whatever it is. So you guys will remember, I don't know if you guys remember, but like it's a couple of years ago, Max Homa won his first like tour event or something. It might be 2 years ago. And he credited it all to being able to walk the course with Taylor Gooch. He was saying that, like, listen, Taylor Gooch, and when I play so much better when Taylor Gooch is playing with me. So just to summarize, Taylor Gooch left to go to live golf, and Max Homa has not missed a shot since Gooch left. So much for that idea.
Well, you want to know the other thing about Max Homa? The reason why he hasn't done that is because Max Homa is legitimately one of the 5 best golfers in the world.
Oh, he's insane.
He's awesome.
He's the best.
All right. Good luck, everybody.
And if you ever watch the they've been doing this stuff on the PGA live stream now where they mic them up and they talk to them as they're kind of walking through the holes and stuff like that. Guy is just so freaking chilled. I mean, he's awesome. Just like he's awesome.
He also comes across pretty well in the video, in the full swing, the golf show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's just sort of like commenting on everybody else's stuff, but it's pretty. You can see just likable guy. And he's an LA guy, so I gotta have a little soft spot for him.
Sometimes you gotta take the likable guys. Sometimes you gotta take Terrell Hatton. You know what I mean? You gotta
or Brooks Koepka.
What happened to that? Oh, he's in live too, right?
Yeah, he's in live too.
Okay.
And who knows? These guys are probably getting worse by the minute out there playing that weird whatever.
No, are these guys all gonna be back for the Masters?
Yeah, they'll play the Masters and stuff.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Anyway, good luck, everybody, and hopefully one of us can take it down.